Hello, my dear friends in homeopathy. Today I'll be reviewing Yasgur's Homeopathic Dictionary and Holistic Health Reference. It's by Emrys Publications. So the book that I have is the 5th revised edition. It's a beautiful, wholesome hardback edition, and it was printed in 2015 by Emrys Publications or Publishers, who publish a wide range of books on homeopathy as well as traditional Chinese medicine in English and also in Dutch. So let's just jump straight to the blurb, which pretty much says what the book is all about and very much delivers as well. So here it says it defines obsolete, archaic medical terminology as well as many modern terms we find in homeopathic literature. It will help with your understanding of homeopathic repertory, materia medica, and other homeopathic reference books, especially from the 19th century. And it's for everybody. It's for lay people, students of homeopathy, medical students, physicians, healthcare professionals, scholars. So it has 4,500 modern and archaic definitions, scientific terminology in the way that it relates to homeopathy. It has definitions of holistic health modalities. It has a remedy pronunciation guide, an essay on what is homeopathy, some charts, and a bunch of homeopathic pharmacies and organizations are also listed here. So let's just jump straight into the book now. So it begins with a lot of people having said lots of good things about this book, about this reference guide. It's important to note that this reference book and dictionary is not just old-fashioned medical parlance, but also modern and relevant homeopathic terms, and also classical medical texts, the language that we find in those texts, which is no longer taught in medical schools. The book begins with a lovely quote by the great artist Georgia O'Keeffe, known for her large, colourful depictions of flowers, and it's just below the dedications. She says, "Still, in a way, nobody sees a flower. Really, it is so small. We haven't time. And to see takes time, like to have a friend takes time." In a way, it is O'Keeffe's commentary on seeing, a magnifying lens for the attention, expressing her deep desire to make others see a flower as she saw them, or as she saw flowers, simple and beautiful and magnified, to catch the attention of the observer. The foreword of the book is by Julian Winston, who was an editor at Homeopathy Today. It was a magazine, it still is, and he sums up the book in this way: Yasgur has done a great service by bringing obsolete definitions in medicine to our consciousness again, and has helped to enhance our understanding of the repertory and the materia medica, especially the language used in Kent's repertory. So the term offers a thorough and comprehensive explanation of old medical language and jargon we see in a highly valued homeopathic literature, especially from the early 19th century, from, for instance, in Hahnemann's Organon, to books by J.D. Kent, Boricki, Boger, Clark, Herbert, Herring, and Roberts, to name a few. It provides precise explanation of rubrics in Kent's repertory. In the preface, right at the beginning, so these are the books that he's consulted. Jay talks about his efforts and struggles in putting together a dictionary and reference book of such tall order, reviewing many sources, including important historical homeopathy books, page by page, word by word. He discusses his frustrations with terms such as hemeralopia, which means both day sight and night blindness, and explains the evolution and subtle differences between the words hypochondria, hypochondriasis, and hypochondriac. Today, hypochondria refers to sadness or depression of the spirits or gloom, and also an obsessive worry about health and belief in imaginary symptoms. And it also refers to the abdominal region of the human body, or just body in general. And then he goes on to define prefixes, suffixes. Around 25% of medical terms are formed with prefixes and suffixes. And I'd just like to go over to page 318, where he is talking about the word symptom in homeopathy and the various meanings it can take for us homeopaths. So we have, it begins with, wow, it's a huge section here. Symptoms, and then it's a really big section, isn't it? And then absolute symptoms, accessory symptoms, accidental symptoms, clinical symptoms, common symptoms, contingent symptoms, concomitant symptoms, determining symptoms. It's a huge section. Food symptoms, functional symptoms, guiding symptoms, keynote symptoms, an incomplete symptom, older symptoms, particular symptoms. Because as homeopaths, we are only guided by symptoms most of the time. Pathological symptom, peculiar symptom, symptom complex, and so on. So lots of definitions of as the term symptom and how it's used in homeopathy. This book also includes a homeopathy medicine pronunciation guide. So you'll have oleum, cajupati, petroleum, plantago major, and how to pronounce many of these. The names of homeopathic remedies are indeed in Latin, so it helps to be able to pronounce them correctly. And this is a pronunciation guide. There's a whole section on obituaries of our homeopathic ancestors at the end. This one. I'm just going backwards. You may well find meanings of words like borborgamy, pisiform, pledget, and wryneck, for instance, on various search engines on the internet. However, to truly understand these words in relation to homeopathy, this reference book by J. Yasgur is most useful. Of course, in this day and age, with information literally at our fingertips with Google and YouTube, this book seems unnecessary to have in your collection. However, in homeopathic reference books, you'll come across terms such as lacrimal fistula, which is described in a clear and precise manner as a single term using simple language in this book, so you can understand what is going on in such a situation, which is definitely more helpful than looking it up on Google. So let me just go there. When I looked it up, these I had to look up this separately and this separately, and while I was writing my assignment for my licentiate course. And then you'll find other words like formides, craniolabes, conglobate glands, and causative, which means constipated. I'd like to end with the words of Thierry Montfort, who was a former president of Boiron, USA, and he described J. Yasgur's Homeopathic Dictionary as a tremendous effort, a deciphering guide. I can go to it. A deciphering guide and a cultural bridge to help medical students in their study of classic homeopathic reference books. It is an essential reference, not just for students and practitioners of homeopathy, but also for all medical historians, and has proved invaluable to me as I pursued my licentiate in homeopathy from CHE London. Thank you for listening.